How Oh boy, see and see if we can second part. We're ready. Here we go. Yes, just got confirmation. Back online. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming back for part two. This is April with Joy Filled Painting. We're working on October's box, which is all about pumpkin spice everything. So we did do all of the pieces that we were wanting to make, like white and orange, and we did kind of like the bigger pieces, and we did this guy. So now we're ready. We're ready for the next layer, and that's one of the things that makes our projects special and fun is that we do all 3D type of wood projects. So we're going to get going on a few things. One, I am not going to paint this. So I'm going to set this aside with the other piece that we're not going to paint, which is this guy. Remember, this one here, if you do decide to paint it, I have a tip for you. So don't paint it. Don't paint this yet until I give you the tip, okay? So we're going to set these two aside. I'm going to put those over there. This is still going to be drying, okay? So it's almost dry. So I'm going to set that back aside. And where we left off was that I wanted to really make sure that I was cleaning my paintbrush because I'm ready to use the teal. I'm going to use the teal for these two. Okay. Let me, now if you've got your kit with you and you've got the printout instructions and you have a picture of the final project, but for those that are kind of joining us for the first time, this is what we're going to be going for. Okay. You see, this is a little different than this one right here. And that's because our kit came with three choices of the sleeve. Okay. So make sure you pick the one that you want. So I'm going with pumpkin spice everything, but you could go with the Hello Fall or pumpkin spice and Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. So let's get to painting. So this, just really making sure my brush is clean and squeezing all the water out. Make sure you squeeze all the water out, okay? So I'm doing that. I'm making sure I get all of that orange out. If you want to, you had another brush, you're welcome to use a different brush, okay? All right. So what I'm going to do is I have this teal color here. This is a part of the color palette. So if you're following the color palette that was supplied in the paint supply list, this is the color that we're going to be using next. But we are going to be blending this and mixing this with white. And so I'm going for like a lighter shade here. So I definitely want more white than I do teal. So when I first started out, I had two blobs of white, and that is so I have white to like mix with, and then I had white that was just going to be like my pure white. I'm done painting everything like a solid white. So this blob here that I have left, this is what I'm going to turn into my light blue. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the teal, just like the corner of my brush, and put it in here and mix. And so if you haven't had a chance to watch the first part, just to share with you a little bit about the paint that I use, I do use the Blick acrylic. I say this, Blick acrylic. But that's the paint I use. I love it. I love the quality and the price. You can't beat it. It's awesome. And it comes in different size bottles. So, if you're like me, I'm buying it at like the half gallon and the quart size at a time, but you can get it in 2-ounce bottles. So, and every size in between. I like getting the quart size bottles or the half gallon. It ends up being like the same price as for like lower quality paint. So you definitely, it's worth it. And if you can't get every color in that size bottle, then maybe, the ones that you use the most, right? Like the white or something like that. Okay, so I got the color that I want, this light blue here. And I am going to use that for both the sleeve and the pumpkin. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to paint the sleeve first because the pumpkin, we're going to have fun with that. We're going to blend it a little bit. Okay, so, oh, hey, my eye, almost lost my eye. All right, here we go. Okay, so a lot of our designs I should say projects, a lot of our projects have designs etched into them. And, they're there for not only to achieve a certain look, right? That's how we got these lines on this mini pumpkin, but also they're guidelines to help us with the next layer. So these 2 set of lines that you see on the camera on the wood, these are to help us. These are guidelines. They're going to help us for the next layer. So you can paint right over these. Okay, that's probably the number one question I get is what do I, can I paint right over this? Yes, you can. Okay, so I'm going to paint. And when I get close to the edge, I just do like a little bit of a lift towards the edge. And then that way, don't get too much on the sides. Okay. All right, here we go again, getting some more of the light and just a dot, like a dot of the dark, because I see here that I do have some blending going on. And if you don't want that, then that's okay. Just make sure that your paint is super mixed, well incorporated. Like a dot. Can you see that? A dot. It's there, trust me. Okay, going on this side now and just painting. Some people really like super rustic vibe to it. So the streaks of the darker color give it that look. But if you don't want that, you don't have to have that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let that dry. And as it dries, the paint's going to soak into the wood a little bit. And then you can reassess if you want another layer or not. Okay. Just get in the corner there. Okay. So there's that. All right. Next for the pumpkin. I'm going to set these over here. These are all going to be the same color. Okay, now for the pumpkin. We're not going to do the stem, so we're just going to be working on the actual pumpkin part. Do you see these lines here? And that's going to help guide us with the blending, okay? I'm going to bring my plate over here. Let's get this back over here. All right, so I've got the light blue and my teal. And I got a smidge of pure white still left on there. I could squeeze some more out of the bottle if I want that. So we're going to use these two colors to paint our pumpkin. If you haven't blended before, it's fun. Just enjoy it and try it out. And we're going to help you and walk you through it. Okay, so what you're going to think about with these lines is like where the line is, that's where your light is going to be. Okay. And on the outsides. And then on here, we can put in some dark lines. And you'll see what I mean by that in just a moment. All right, so we got the light color. I'm just going to barely dip my brush in the water. I'm going to thin this paint out a little bit. It'll help with the gliding. Okay, so I got the light blue on there. And then on one corner, I'm just going to like kiss the dark. Barely. Okay. And I want to make sure that the white is on the outside and the darker is here. If this brush is too big for you, it might be too big for me. I might change this brush here for a second. Let me see what I've got. All right, let's see. Oh, I see the brush I want. Is that the brush I want? Do this. Okay. So when you join, hey, hello. So when you join, when you join Joy Filled Painting, you do get a set of brushes that comes with your kit. So you have different size brushes. So I think I'm actually going to move down in size. All right. And kind of like this one's a little bit more rounded, where this is the flat tip, but either one would be fine. Okay. Oh, church is over. That means I got to go get the kids. Right? Is that what it means? It's time? Time for me to come? All right. So again, just kiss there. And then we're going to put the white on like that. Do you see how it made those two streaks? And then going in the same direction, I'm just going to keep blending it. Okay. So I'm not going back and forth this time. Just in the same direction, in the same direction, in the same direction. Boom. Oh, we got a visitor. In the same direction. Here we go. All the way up to the top. Now we're going to flip it the other way. Hi. Say hello to the virtual world. Okay. So same thing, but now we got it the other way around. So the light is on the outside and the dark is on the inside. And you see that one had a little bit more dark, but that's okay. When I come back, I'll just bring more white in there. Okay, cool. The dark on the line, white on the outside, and then boom. And now I'm going to take some of that light and bring it on the outside there. All right. Blend, blend, blend. Okay, so now we're getting to the middle. Now we have the middle, and we're going to get a lot more paint onto the brush. And you're going to kind of start in the middle there, and then make your curve. Make your curve. Okay. And then just kind of be mindful where that stem is. Don't get it too much. And then just curving. Boom. And then the opposite direction. Boom. and boom, and boom. And then just keep going. And there you go. So you have your little pumpkin done. So cute. I do recommend, like, whatever direction you're going to go, just stick with that direction. Okay, so let the paint dry, and we'll do that. Then the next thing is we're going to do black on these. Here we go. Using black. Oh, oops. They are hanging on the white thing in the laundry room. So just kind of doing the same thing like we did with the white and getting that line right up to there and dragging. And so this cup had a little bit of a guideline, and we're going to use that later when we do part 3 with the paint markers. All right, next thing we're going to do is here it says I love fall. And what we're going to do here is we are going to use the makeup sponges. Okay, you definitely want to use makeup sponges for this. If you do use a paintbrush, it's very important that you don't overload. Don't overload your paintbrush because then the paint gets all in these like little openings, and then it just doesn't look as crisp. And then the other thing too is like the paint sponge. It's so fast. I mean, look at this. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Hey. All right, so we've got all of that done. The other thing that I want to use the paint sponge for is this little part, this little stem. I want this stem to be green. You could totally use a tiny brush or just sponge it on there. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So the next thing that we're going to move on to is going to be our paint markers. And this I am going to do as a separate video because these are going to, well, one, we got to allow the rest of the paint to dry. So we want to make sure we have enough paint or enough time for the paint to dry. Oh, there's Jabadi. You want to say hi? Say hi. Oh, he's leaving now. So, catch us back for part 3. And if you didn't get to see the first part of the painting, we are going to be redoing all of this on Friday. Okay, so before I go off screen here, let's just show the progress that we've made so far. So we have painted our stacked books. We have painted, let me make sure the back of these letters are dry. But we've painted our wording for our stacked books. We have painted the lettering. We've got our mini latte. So cute. Oh, look how everything is just coming together. I love it, love it, love it. And then we are going to be, on the third video, we are going to be wrapping up the whole project with the latte and the sleeve here and our pumpkin. And so where the rest of the finishing pieces, the undone parts, that is all going to be done with a paint marker. So you can use, there's so many different options and brands out there. You could even use a Sharpie. Okay, so don't feel like you got to go out and buy a particular brand. But these are the colors that we'll be using is yellow, black and white, brown, and orange. But of course, you can use all the colors that you choose, especially if you use a different color palette than I did. And we will be back here same time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, finishing up the project. If you are like so in love with this project and you already like finished it all the way to the end, make sure you post it, tag us in it. We can't wait to see what you created. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of the evening.